Hey there, Brett with Quarter Properties. Today I wanted to hop on here and chat with you a little bit about how much it's going to cost you to sell your home. Right now we're heading into the spring and the late spring and summer. A lot of folks are looking to move over the summer months to get into different, say, school zones or whatnot. So it's a common time where a lot of folks are thinking about potentially putting their home on the market over the next month or two. And with that said, you want to be prepared. How much is it actually going to cost you to sell your home? So wanted to help out with that. First off, let's say there's going to be potentially tax. Okay, we know we pay taxes on almost everything, but in the state of South Carolina, you have to live in your house for 24 months or claim it as your primary residence for 24 months out of the last 5 years for you to kind of avoid any potential income tax on that. But let's say you bought a house for $300,000, 6 months ago, and you're already selling it, and you're selling it for $400,000. They'd subtract out your costs, and then let's say you had a $50,000 profit there would be income tax on that. So first thing you're going to have is taxes. All right. Next thing you're going to have is property tax. In the state of South Carolina, our property taxes are paid what's called in arrears, meaning you live in the house for the year, and then property taxes are paid after that year. So let's say you live in the house for, your closing date is 6 months, like right in the middle of the tax year, then you are going to pay your 6 months worth of property taxes. So let's say on a $400,000 home, the property taxes for those 6 months was $3,400. Well, then at closing, you would be responsible for $1,700 worth of property tax. So they prorate that based off of your closing date. Okay. So then you've also got what's called a deed transfer tax here in South Carolina. And that's just when you sell the property, they're going to transfer the deed from you to the new buyer. And typically that's around 3.5% of the sales price. So the more you sell a house for, the more your transfer tax is. So say it's a $400,000 home, you're looking at around $1,400 some dollars in deed transfer tax. You're also going to have your attorney fees. In South Carolina, attorneys handle all of our real estate closings. And for a seller, that could be right around $500 to $600 for the closing attorney to represent you on the sale of the property. Now, there could be HOA assessments. So let's say you live in a community and they assess everyone, say, $500 to resurface or refinish the pool, fix the community pool, something like that. And that was known ahead of time. Then you might, and that's negotiable, but you might have agreed in the contracting process to pay that at closing. So there could be something like that. Then you might accept let's say you accept a contract on your $400,000 home where there's some buyer paid closing costs. So a lot of buyers out there, FHA, VA buyers, they may need some help with their closing costs. So let's say you agree to, whatever your contract price is, you agree to contribute $5,000 towards closing costs. So there could be that involved. Obviously before, and when we negotiate that and we go through the contracting process, we would look at neighboring comps, to adjust the price. Sometimes if we've got a house listed for $400,000 and they need $5,000 in closing, then we'll go to contract at, say, $405,000. So that could be a cost to you, or when it nets out, you may not end up paying anything additional for those closing costs. Just depends on what type of contract we accept. So those are kind of some basic things, but ultimately at the end of the day, the highest cost is going to be the real estate commissions when you go to sell your house. So on average, real estate commissions are going to be anywhere from, say, 4 to 6%. At the end of the day, the more expensive the home, the more room there is to negotiate. And that's right, you are able to negotiate what type of real estate commission you pay. So typically the way that works is, let's just pick an easy number. Let's say it's 5%. So you agree to list your house with me, and we agree to list it for 5%. And typically what's going to happen there is the broker that lists your house will at the sale receive half of that. And then a cooperating broker that brings your buyer will receive the other half. So let's say it's a $400,000 home. That's $20,000 in real estate commissions. And, that may seem like an astronomical amount, but we have to keep in mind that, say that buyer agent, so they've got a $10,000 commission on their close. I guarantee you they did not meet that buyer yesterday. They paid for that lead in some form or fashion usually, and they nurtured that lead. Just like most of us do. And that, just to give you an idea, the average time to buy is around 18 months to 24 months from the very first moment we start talking to someone who's interested in buying a home in our area. So that is a long process where that buyer's agent was nurturing that lead, spending money marketing to that person to try and keep them interested in the area. Then they finally get them here. They take them out to show them houses. They come back again 6 months later. They show them some more houses. And then here we are 24 months later, and they show them your house, and they love it. And then they're working with them to go through the contracting process. So there's a lot involved there. And the same on the brokerage side that's listing your house. The broker, hopefully, that you list your house with has been marketing for and building their database of leads and potential buyers for years before they ever even maybe meet you. You know, we've got thousands and thousands and thousands of people, potential buyers in our database that we have been building up over years and years and years and years. And we know which ones of those might very well be interested in your specific house. So we got to understand that takes years. That takes money to acquire those leads. That takes money to market to those leads for those years, all the way up until hopefully they're ready to buy your house. And then also the brokerage that lists your property, they're going to have marketing expenses. The sign in your yard, the electric lockbox they put on your house, and then getting it out to, yes, the MLS where it's on Zillow and Realtor and, all the different websites out there, but then also paid advertising campaigns where we're specifically paying to advertise your house so that we can get as many buyers as possible to potentially come see your house and ultimately offer and contract on your house. So there are a lot of expenses on both sides. And what a lot of people don't understand, especially the folks that try for sale by owner, they don't understand the years and years of effort that has gone in to build up buyer pools, for people that are going to be interested in your house. So they go out there, and the hope is they're going to list their house and somehow escape the realtor commissions. Well, here's just an FYI, 85% of the people that try for sale by owner ultimately end up listing with an agent. What they don't understand is that when the buyer shows up, with a buyer's agent, let's say they do have a buyer's agent, and we're trying to avoid the commissions, well, whatever offer price they're ultimately going to come in at is going to be reflective of the fact that there are no commissions being paid. So ultimately, the offer prices will be much lower because they're going to offer comparable prices. So if your neighbor sold their house for $400,000 but paid 5% in commission, well, guess what? As realtors, we all know that. We see that. If I'm advising my client to buy your house, I'm not going to advise them to pay $400,000 for your house when you're not paying any commissions. I'm going to advise them to pay $380 because that's a comparable sale. So just want to give you a little bit of inside info there. So at the end of the day, just to recap a little bit, you could have some income tax if you didn't live in it or primary residence, the house, for 24 months. You're definitely going to have a deed transfer tax. It's going to be around 3.5%. You could have like an HOA assessment, some buyer paid closing costs if you agree to a contract with those. But ultimately, the largest expense will be your realtor commission. That will be somewhere in the 4 to 6% range, somewhere in that range to sell your house. So I hope this information was helpful. If you have any questions, just kind of hit me in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, shoot me a message on Facebook or email me at brett@quarterproperties.com. Talk to you soon.